So I was showing you the SunRay terminal by Sun Microsystems some weeks ago. Even 25 years ago, running on a Solaris terminal may have caused some people asking for Windows applications. And using the Sun PCI board shown last time, one could run a full-blown PC inside a SPARC-based machine, and as we have seen, even inside a server. However, at the concession that the Sun PCI board could be used only by one user at a time. So it's not of much use here. But Sun had a broader portfolio of Windows compatibility solutions, one of which being Wabi, which provided a Windows runtime binary application interface as early as 1992, allowing you to run Windows applications natively on the Solaris desktop. Obsolete computer technology is my passion. I'm the vintage collector, and these are my stories. So I was attempting to install Wabi 2.2 on this 2002 SunFire V120 server. It's as easy as running the pkg add command from the directory where the installed files reside. Interestingly enough, the install went through without any bigger issues. The problems only started to arise when I tried to run the Wabi load command. This should load the kernel modules, but as you see here, I got this error that it didn't find the kernel module. Remember that for the Sun PCI, which was not officially compatible to Solaris 9, it was possible to step ahead by linking the Solaris 8 module to a name suitable for Solaris 9. I tried to be clever here and repeating the same trick. As Solaris 9 internally is SunOS 9, calling the linked file wabi.sparc.5.9.0 seems reasonable. But to no avail, as obviously it's a 32-bit module, whereas Solaris 9 runs with a 64-bit kernel. Well, on some machines you could reload Solaris to run with a 32-bit kernel instead. But for the SunFire V120, that's not an option. It's strictly 64-bit only. And I further found out that Wabi 2.2 was mainly intended for Solaris 2.4 and 2.5. Now bear with me, I haven't yet deeply investigated how to emulate early Sun SPARC machines. Rumor has it it's possible with QEMU, but I have to explore that. So I tried my luck with VirtualBox, because VirtualBox can run Solaris x86 and Wabi is also said to run on Solaris x86. My only problem at this stage was that the emulated video card wouldn't allow me to run any decent resolution and color depth on this mid-90s version of Solaris. So I retried with 86box and that looked much better to install. Solaris 2.5 didn't come yet with a graphical desktop by default. This was required to be separately installed. At this stage I made another mistake, as I had accidentally picked the Sun Desktop 1.0 CD, which only goes with Solaris 2.5. But I had actually installed Solaris 2.5.1, so I had to start over. So much troubles just to get started. At least I ended up with a graphical environment so I could continue to install the Wabi package. That's straightforward, not asking too many questions and leaving me with the binary files in /opt/sunwwabi. And once again, I'm trying to load the driver modules, which this time round seems to succeed. Then running the Wabi command from the bin directory starts the runtime setup. It will ask for Windows floppy disks. I tried with Windows for Workgroups floppies first, though not only did the installer complain about it, it also bailed out with an error during install. So I retried with a plain Windows 3.1 floppy disk set, and that seemed to work just fine. Now, I read the install guide beforehand, so I knew what to expect. But still, it blew me away getting the actual Windows 3.1 program manager running on the Solaris desktop. Peeking around with File Manager reveals some network drives, some of which are pointing to internal resource directories containing drivers and tools, but also your home directory and the system's root directory. That's actually very similar to the Sun PCI redirector service we've been seeing in the previous episode, and makes totally sense like that. Now, it doesn't make sense to benchmark it as I'm running the 86-box emulation on modern hardware. To really compare it, I will need to run this off a contemporary x86 system. But still, I'm about to quickly install Microsoft Works. As copying the files is maybe not too indicative, let's just see how things go when starting. Wow, that was quick, but let's take it with a grain of salt. And even so, Wabi was surely not developed to run games, let's give it a quick shot with Sim Tower. But no, as it was stated in the manual, the audio is not supported and it fails on the audio and bails out. Too bad it doesn't run on the more recent Solaris 9. Assuming that Wabi could have seen some reasonable speed on late 90s hardware, this would probably have been just awesome. Apparently, Wabi 2.2 was eventually also ported over to Linux by Caldera, whom also distributed OpenDOS, formerly known as NovelDOS and DRDOS. Check out my past video about CP/M and the DRDOS history should you have missed it. I didn't try the Linux version of Wabi myself, but there's some resources online of people who have tried it, and it looks pretty much the same as we have seen on Solaris. Said that, even so Wabi was also available for HP Unix, AIX and SCO Open Server, its development was eventually cancelled by around 1997. According to some reading on Wikipedia, because of Microsoft actively seeking to sabotage it. Wabi was limited to Windows 3.x compatibility, and evolving it to the Win32 API was most likely not happening for the same reasons as to why IBM wasn't investing into lifting their WinOS 2 subsystem to Windows 95. Besides Microsoft putting pressure, there was probably not too much demand. Or was it? On the other side, Competition was also coming from the open source world, namely the Wine project. And while Wabi required a Windows runtime to be present, Wine developed their own set of API libraries to provide a compatible Windows runtime. So, did you actually work with Wabi, be it on Solaris or any of the other big Unix flavors of the time, and what was your experience with it? Let me know in the comments below. I'm the Vintage Collector, and this was my story for today.
Oh, and by the way, if you're asking yourself how to support me and this channel, consider looking on my wish list for retro gear or a channel membership subscription. This would allow me to bring you even more interesting topics in the future. Thanks for watching, and see you again next Sunday.
Next time on the Vintage Collector. This Windows Thin client gave me a hard time exposing an obviously corrupted flash disk that required some creative tampering. But not only that, as it was really reluctant to boot into my custom created Windows XP embedded boot image.